You have 68 wins. You cannot 69 Mina.
I am that reminder that no matter how far you get in life, there's going to be someone like me, born with much more than you do, who can cash in and take it all away at any moment.
Come on over, Sam. I'm being. See, earlier I said something stupid to him, and now this is my receipt. Okay.
Sabu's just sabotaging you.
Yeah. He sure did.
Hijacking.
Yeah, he's taking over.
Hijacking is a better word. You're right.
Good luck.
Ooh, follow the white rabbit.
The mask has been removed, but I tell you what, he's still the same pro wrestler, whether he's wearing a mask or not.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Noah. I believe in Datula. The Meltzer of the multiverse. Who the fuck wants to compare themselves to another? How much of a mark do you have to be? You couldn't even pick a professional athlete. You went with a fucking journalist? Grow up, man.
We just want to say thank you to Simply Reliable Studios for voting us as Tag Team of the Year.
Of course.
Because you know what they say, right? If you can't swim,
You're bound to drown.
Tonight, she is sponsored by Simply Reliable Studios from Orlando, Florida. She is everybody's favorite BFF, Izzy Marino.
It's nerds and geeks at heart, and I look at your style. You look like somebody that would regularly shop at one of my favorite stores, not called Hot Topic, but Spencer's. I'm a fan of novelty likes.
You mentioned Hot Topic. It comes as no surprise to anyone that I was a manager at Hot Topic for years before I started wrestling.
What's in your AirPods? You know, what are you listening to? Whether it's at the gym working out or when you're in the jacuzzi relaxing, like what are you bumping?
So I tell everybody all the time, I love listening to strip club bangers.
I find it weird that you guys are so excited about seeing the cup. For us, it lives here, so it's just like
you just go down the street.
I just go to the Hockey Hall of Fame and just go take a peek, take a gander of it.
No, but they had
it lives there, but it's not like you guys have won it in how many years.
Take a look at
Why? But why? But why do we have to go there?
Quintanilla. Is that your birth last name or is that a gimmick name?
That is not my birth last name. Alejandra is my actual name.
Okay.
Quintanilla, I'm also... I love music. I'm always listening to music. I'm always dancing. And I've always been inspired by the late Selena Quintanilla. That's where I got the Quintanilla last name from.
I'm the referee and the coach, and I'm like, you stupid idiots, and I'm constantly yelling at the TV.
That is Jeff every single week during football season. Since the mid-90s, he's a Cowboys fan.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is every week.
It
ain't changing anytime soon, buddy. Is it your year again?
I know it's coming.
Damn it.
It's always your year.
Gymnasts and cheerleaders have like eternal beef with each other.
Yes,
they do. Yo, no, that beef is real. I know.
Remember you saying that you're a huge Disney and Harry Potter geek?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
Hercules, hands down. I grew up watching that.
Yes.
Like, it's the best Disney movie. I will fight anyone who tells me otherwise.
So I got into AW, I was less than a year in.
Okay.
I was maybe like 15 matches in. And so at some point I was wrestling more in AW than I did on the indies. And so I was like, okay, I'm going against these top names and I've proven I can hang with every single one of them, so I am top tier. That's how it all came about.
Heyo, this is Jack Cartwheel. You are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Get it? Got it.
I should be asleep, but nonetheless, let's get this going. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to the weekly moderate conversation of wrestling madness. That is the Saturday Shenanigans. I am, of course, once again, for some reason, your host for this evening's festivities and tomfoolery. 2 hours flat because I'm not dealing with any crap. The Superman Noah Foster. Good to see y'all once again. Hope everyone's doing fine this fine Saturday as we are about to conclude this month of mayhem that was made and head into hopefully a more jubilant June. Good to see all of you once again. So please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. If you want to dictate the conversation, super chat, pay by the passions. It's as simple as that. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the clowns first and foremost. Why he's not the host, I don't know. Maybe this is one of the new things, just because he's learning how I moderate things now, and I don't deal with nonsense that goes TK crazy time. Nonetheless, the original guy with the facts and on the mic and with the itinerary. Good to have him back on screen, at least for this evening. We have the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. We also have Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz. And right now, we got one half of the Canadian Connection. So let's go ahead and bring in the Gaggle of Fools as we bring you all in once again to the Shenanigans. Good to see everybody once again here on a Saturday Eve. I am tired as bleep. Let's start and see what Walter's doing besides gaming. I already saw the Switch in hand. Walter, how are you, my friend? Been a moment.
I'm doing well. Yeah, this is Switch 2. I'm just... My son's home from college, so I'm starting to steal his stuff.
I mean, that's fair. Lord knows he's going to take it now that he's back, so you might as well get as much time as you can out of it. But good to see you as always. And again, shout out to your young lads. Happy, of course, belated birthday to them. And keep leading as a father figure. You're doing great things. Proud of you. And also good to see JJ here once again. Of course, just saw him at Bandit Day. Now he's back here on the Shenanigans where he rightfully belongs. But somehow I'm the host again. It is what it is, I guess. JJ, how are you this evening?
Hey. I'm doing well. Full disclosure to everybody, part of the reason I asked Noah to do the Shenanigans this week is because, and I messaged him this, I like how he's been getting everything in about 2.5 hours. And I know that if I was moderating it, it would probably go 3-4 hours. On top of that, I got injured on the job on Monday. Don't worry, it's not anything life-threatening. I worked another shift on Wednesday. Like, it's not something that kept me out of work. But, like, I've been taking antibiotics since the injury, and I've been more exhausted than normal. Like, Tuesday, I slept till almost 11:30 in the morning. That is unheard of for me. Unheard of. Even without an alarm, I'm usually up by or before 10, latest. So to sleep that late, I just wasn't sure how things were going to go with me here today with the antibiotics, you know. So I was just like, Noah, take the lead. You've been consistent. Consistency is key. I know next Saturday I'm working. The Saturday after that, if I'm here, it's going to be late. Just keep the pattern rolling. For those wondering, like I said, it wasn't major. I was throwing trash away at work. The bag landed on my arm because it was heavy. I went to do like one of those bump it back in, and I immediately felt my skin rip. There was broken glass or like a knife in there, and it ripped my skin. Not a lot, but enough that they made me go to the ER. Thankfully, I was in and out by like midnight, and this all happened at like 9 at night. So between finishing my shift, making the documentation at work, going to the ER, getting out of the ER, probably in and out of the ER in under an hour and a half, which again, unheard of. But hey, you know, somebody's smiling on me.
I always do say there's a force that always plays in everyone else's life. But that being said, first off, God bless you. Secondly, don't underestimate what the wrestling business goes through, folks. From the lowest regime, the common men, the common women that provide you the services. Don't underestimate, underappreciate your waiters and waitresses either. And third, I'm glad to know that the hospital and medical system in California seems to be rather stable despite insurance and premium benefits. So glad you're okay. Happy to help a friend. And indeed, I am consistent as I've been going about the 2.5 average. Heck, even on sleep addicting to that point. So happy to assist. And it feels like we are kind of farming it because we're all burnt out too. This is the week of burnout, I think. But glad to see you. Glad you're okay. And glad that you're back here on the Shenanigans regardless, for as long as you can stay awake. That being said, always on the mic, always on the avatar, always here trying to bring the mischief or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Factoid. It's good to have Nick here as well, who's been also picking up a lot of slack lately here in the Shenanigans and also in general in the Civil Studios, including watch-along coverage as we did this Wednesday. And again, we'll talk a little bit about that in AEW, Double Nothing and Fall, since we are now officially week move, folks. Stay tuned for more on that itinerary. Nick, if you are available, speak your mind now. Forever hold your peace. I'm giving you Trebek 3 seconds to say, how are you, my friend?
Joe Hendry.
Well, there it is. You didn't even say the freaking trope. You didn't even go the full I believe. You freaking dickhead.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
And that's truly how tired I am when you consider my mood usually during that. And I'm just saying.
Well, I think he was doing that because the new intro that I tried to get you in here for had the intro of Joe's theme, like the actual Titantron, say his name and he appears, but then it cut to his cameo going, I believe in Noah. I believe in Datilla.
Well, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. It was none of that. It was just more the fact of I can see that Noah's really tired, and if we waited till the 2-hour mark, I didn't want to piss him off, so we'll get out of the way. Just get out of the way now.
Fair enough. Raise my ire after the fact before we hit the 2-hour clock. Wise move, actually, for a Canadian. All right, Nick. Well, thank you for that. That being said, how are you?
I'm good. Give me 1 second. Did you want to say a random name too?
I did.
What'd you say?
Adam White.
Okay, my wife said Adam White. She thought we were saying random names, and she just said Adam White.
As long as she's cooking something that's legal and not something toxic to your body, just leave it at that.
And she almost fell and hit her head. Okay, well.
Okay, well, let's not have actual injuries here on the Shenanigans. And
I don't have insurance for everybody. No on-the-job injuries here.
Yeah, honey, no on-the-job injuries. Okay.
Look,
fuck you and your toe.
All right, well, there goes the first one of the night. Oh, how does she handle you? I'll never know. Oh wait, never mind.
Honey, how do you?
The less I know about that,
the
better. This will turn into a whole episode of Jerry Springer at this point.
No, definitely. It's bad enough he's got to deal with having the Stanley Cup in town, and he hasn't earned it for 60 years.
Well, at least
you don't know how his wife deals with him too.
Well, she said in that building.
She said she literally was in the other room as I yelled that out, and she literally had to come back into the room, look at me, and say, "Drugs." So that is drugs.
Walter, you might have another buyer coming up.
What I wouldn't give her some melatonin right now and just pass out on the air. All right. Oh, bloody hell. This is the fallout. What happens when you deal with fatigue 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday evening, folks, after a pay-per-view. But that being said...
Saturday.
Oh, my gosh. All right, I already missed my bed, so yeah, you're already pushing it. All right, well, without further ado, we got freaking 4 here. We'll see who else joins in before I bid us all fine adieu. We got a simple itinerary here. It feels like, again, we're farming it in before we go to Italy, whoever's joining me on that festivity. So without further ado, Simply Reliable Studios community and Shenanigan viewers. Let's get right into it. We have a nice hat trick of topics for the eve, including recapping Kid Bandit interview and thoughts and takeaways, of course, now that he is now they are retired. Of course, also some stuff regarding MLW Fusion debuting. And we're going to kick things off with not kicking a dead horse, but basically continuing to pat the pedigree of Sagittarius or Seabiscuit or whatever the other horse movie name is when it comes to Double or Nothing, and the fallout particularly thereof. Of course, this past Sunday we had Double or Nothing, where even WWE, insert T-word here, I don't acknowledge that T-word, so I'm not going to say it, but it's been acknowledged on multiple forums and on NoDQ, so we're going to talk about it. Double or Nothing, of course, happened this past Sunday, and the fallout led to 2 Owen Hart Foundation matches on Dynamite, which is what I expected, considering quarterfinals. You have the semifinals next week, at least one, if not the other. We also, of course, had a collision, but there was none on there. And, of course, that 1 hour collision backed up the fact we had a 1 hour collision a couple weeks ago with sports scheduling. Fairway to hell, in case you're all wondering, which is why you still had a normal 2 hour collision on Saturday, because we're balancing time needed, time used, time expected. It is what it is when you have a TV deal, folks. And then talking about, of course, outlook of women's wrestling here, we have Taiji going after the tag team champions. They had a little 72-second bout. They had a backstage segment where they were assaulted, and I believe they had a 5-minute eliminator non-collision. Remain hashtags for it on collision now if you can, because I haven't seen it, and I'm sure others haven't either. And they're already talking about the wild card, but people are already thinking that the wild card's exposed. I don't know what you've been buying into, reporting, or rumored, but we know that Alex Windsor will be challenging the wild card on Dynamite this coming week. We also know that MJF has a whole different sorts of challenges on all sides. Mark Briscoe, of course, who previously beat him. Rouge, who's basically being used, I think, a foil towards Andrade Igolo, who's putting his name out there. And, of course, everybody involved still in the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So let's go around the horn and see if anyone has anything regarding particularly the fallout, because we've already acknowledged the AEW pay-per-view into freaking passionate immortality of professional wrestling watching. We're going to focus on the TV fallout episode of AEW Dynamite Collision and move on from there. So let's go ahead and get some outlook on the fallout that was AEW Wednesday from AEW Double or Nothing. Nick, since you're on the call with me, and again, God bless you for enduring that 3 hours. We were supposed to go for 2, but again, we kind of flipped the script on that because we're in that mindset, and you and I were definitely on the verge of falling out, pun intended. What's your outlook on what we got Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite regarding the fallout from AEW Double or Nothing, progression of the Owen, outlook of the AEW Men's World Championship, and anything else in your mind? Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to start by saying one of the biggest takeaways from that night is, I don't think, like all of us, and don't play it, a lot of us believe in Joe Hendry. A lot of us believe, we have that belief.
Yes.
One thing that AEW doesn't have is belief in Manitoba. I don't know. I don't know what this thing is with Winnipeg and Manitoba and just them not believing in it. I wish Manitoba was more lucky. I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's fucking Winnipeg, right? Like, why would AEW go to Winnipeg? Like, it's crazy.
You're just
you realize they're gonna unleash a beast, a bat of all things, once she gets here. Okay,
that bat's gonna turn into a gargoyle and freaking rip your head off if you're not careful, bruv.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. But in any case, maybe just some redemption or something. I don't know. But the
you're gonna
Wednesday
need to be
night
redeemed
show,
after this.
Probably the Wednesday show. Okay, if it was, I have my outlook on it in 2 separate ways, and
go for it.
Somebody said it best. A certain Chi-Town Smark from Chicago, I think, said it best. With this being I don't know why Ash is calling me a dickhead. I don't know.
Because you are one.
Subscribe. I don't know. Subscribe. For this being a Dynamite, like if this was just a Dynamite, I'd say it's serviceable. It was passable. Wasn't like blow away. Nothing crazy to go home about. The matches were good. They started they started setting up stories. Some things hit for me, some things missed for me. Some things I feel like Tony is rushing, and we'll get to that as we talk about it. As a after show or as a post show, coming off of what I think is universally called, one of, if not the greatest complete AEW show to date. I feel like it really has missed the mark on it. They really could have done a little bit better. And like I said, we'll touch on it as we go along. But I thought it was, again, for a post show, missed for me. As a regular standard, if this was a Dynamite that was like in 3 weeks, it would be okay. It'd be serviceable.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things where I think that you just hit the ceiling so damn hard that you had shattered it, that you had to rebuild it, that I wasn't expecting anything groundbreaking regarding the fallout from the pay-per-view, to be perfectly honest. Think, by the way, for those that tune into our watch on Wednesday, we will be covering AEW Dynamite again this Wednesday. As far as I know, it's just a standard Dynamite, and we're sticking to that routine, as, of course, the OM right now is taking place across Dynamites, and we, of course, do have the semifinals. For those that are wondering, I'll talk more about the results when we get everyone else's flush, just to make sure everyone else did actually tune in to either our coverage or actually the show or got highlights. And for me, it's definitely one of those things where I think, yeah, the key thing is we're pushing the AEW World Championship. That's the biggest thing right now you got to consider going into the next pay-per-view and the next part of what I have to call AEW season, the Forbidden Door. The Owens, the MJF, and, of course, seeing who's going to challenge for these championships possibly. It felt like for me, though, that they put a pause, though, on the AEW Women's World Championship, and maybe that's just to close the book on the Statlander and Sheeta feud, which we knew was coming ahead. I just wish it wasn't at the very end of a 3-hour. I think it should have closed literally Dynamite, in my opinion. But I see now, of course, why they did what they did, and I'm just going to go like, okay, it was good. And the lights out match did what it needed to do. Shout out to Statlander wearing the shirt, by the way, encompassing basically her Blood and Guts move, if you all noticed that closely. And as far as everything else, yeah, I mean, there was some subtle fun. There was some subtle, of course, opponent awareness now that has definitely built some new rivalries to expect, especially when you looked at Cage and Cope, who they were confronted by. But other than that, and the continued tensions with the Don Callis family and Konosuke now being a free man, but a vengeful man, I do feel like this Dynamite was subpar. And with a year where we've had so many Dynamites with incredible, insane main events and, the other rest of the show kind of like falling together, it kind of felt like the meme, which is what I expected. So honestly, I wasn't upset with it. But speaking of upset, she may be tired, but it looks like she's not tired enough to stay off screen, because welcome into the Shenanigans. She's yours, she's mine, she's also all elite, and she's our Canadian friend and Nick's worst enemy, Ash. Hello, Ash. How are you? Good to see you on screen. Good to see your batty demeanor, as always, my friend. I know we're all tired. This isn't our tired of Shenanigans, and I'm keeping us to a deadline. So how are you, Ash?
I'm doing good. I got something to show you. Give me a second.
All right. Well, while she does that, I will go ahead and trade off the mic now to Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz, my other all-elite brethren, who usually joins me on these watch-alongs. And, of course, you had your match tonight with Konosuke Takeshita, Kazuchika Okada at, of course, Double or Nothing. Now we see what the future may hold for the Alpha, more presumably. That being said, Walter, what was your outlook if you counted it for Wednesday night, the fallout from AEW Double or Nothing and AEW Dynamite?
I didn't catch Dynamite, but I saw the highlight of Edge and Christian pretty much trying to bring the 5-second pose back with disposable cameras from 20 years ago.
I still can't believe those things are made.
I laughed my ass off with that one. And I know Takeshita had the conglomeration as a backup.
There it is, the keys to our future. And as Walter speaks about the keys towards the dogs, maybe endeavors to the AEW Tag Team Championships, congratulations. For those that don't know, Ash is promoted. And she has much more priorities that are in store for her versus making content for you all. But please stay tuned again for Bad Wrestling. Don't be a dickhead. Again, congratulations, my baddie friend. We're all so proud of you. And want nothing but continued success for you. Continue, Walter, and then Ash, I'll pass the mic off to you.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I saw. So, but it's kind of hard to follow up what I think across every company was the pay-per-view of the year. So, of course, when you see such an action like that, you're gonna be kind of a letdown. And by the way, I'm watching the Triple I thing. The original Americano it was so booed out of the building, and they started screaming "fuck Gable," and now the other Grandes out here, and you would think fucking the president of Mexico walked out the way they're screaming their asses off and blowing the roof off the building right now. It's fucking ridiculous and making me crack up. Like right
well, the mood is set. But please remain hashtag spoiler free for anyone that wants to watch that tomfoolery. Enjoy, bruv. Thank you, Walter. Anything else besides that?
No, it's just. When you're on such a high, anything else is going to be a letdown. So just let's give it a couple of weeks. They'll build it back up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting more tensions, especially across the women's division, with already teasing the idea of what the Brawling Birds future can be, which they also did on Dynamite. And again, one match, non-sanctioned, one quickie match, progression in the AEW Tag Team Championships, teases of Jamie Hayter announced wins his future in the women's Owen. Women's World Champion MIA. You can't fit everybody on screen. I'm not surprised by it. And honestly, right now, I'm just wondering who Fekla is going to infuse her madness with next. And Statlander and Harley Cameron, maybe that'll be a thing. I don't know. But thank you for that, Walter. All right, Ash, let's go to you, my baddie friend. Good to see you here on cam. Of course, we didn't see you this Wednesday on Dynamite, but did you catch anything from the fallout or have any thoughts or highlights?
I haven't been able to catch up to anything because I thought my training was starting next week. No, it was this week.
Well, I'm glad you didn't botch attending that.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like, training has been going very well. I'm looking forward to this new opportunity for me. I will just say this right now. I won't be able to join Shenanigans this upcoming Saturday because of training.
Priorities over passions, and just make sure you have the energy and the motivation to do nothing but continue to succeed and progress, my baddie friend. Completely understandable. Mad respect. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Well, that being said, why some people might think that JJ might a little bit on a soapbox during something we did when it came to an Outlook Women's Wrestling, but it's not a soapbox when it calls out to passion, when you're tired of seeing the same 4 people from the biggest company on the planet with 52 years of credit and discredit to their name. Let's go to JJ now to get his thoughts on the fallout from AEW Double or Nothing and this past Wednesday. JJ, it's on you. Go ahead and let your thoughts towards the fallout here. Men's Owen, women's division progression, AEW World Championship, Outlook and Dynamics, cause and effect of Konosuke being estimated for the Don Callis family, and anything else you want to add to it. And, of course, the 5-second pose segment, if you also saw that, to Walter's point. I cannot believe disposable cameras are still a damn thing in 2026. Go figure. I guess there are some people without a freaking phone with a camera on it.
I'm surprised anybody knew how to use it in the audience.
Well, I mean, it's a button, right? You just You press a button, I think, and that's it. Even I know how to use that damn shit, and I've never owned one.
Yeah,
although
but you gotta
film, not Kodak. Anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead, JJ. The original disposable camera, folks. Kodak. Go ahead, JJ.
Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I did not watch Dynamite. I'm just going off of what I read and saw online. Okay.
Fair enough. Because I'll clips them once you're done.
As far as the disposable cameras go, really quickly, I couldn't believe they still existed when Walter and I were at WWE World and they fucking handed them to us for free as we were going through the Superstar photo area, where we got our pictures with the Wyatt Six and BFAB and Meechin and Thea Hale and Alicia Taylor. They literally were handing us disposable cameras.
Oh, so
I have 3 of them.
So that's how they avoid using everybody's phones now. Okay, honestly, that's probably a smart idea.
I literally have 3 of them.
And now you got to go develop the film at your local Rite Aid or Walmart.
No, because I used my phone. I still have them in the plastic, like as souvenir items. Like if I ever bury a time capsule, it's like, this is a disposable camera. We used these to take photos before cameras were included on our phones.
All right. What the hell? It's 2026. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we used these back in 2006.
Right. Anyway, continue.
But I digress.
That's your history lesson tonight, folks, courtesy of Professor J.J. Williams. Continue.
My 2 biggest issues with Dynamite from this week have to do with the women.
Go for it.
First and foremost, 72-second squash match is abysmal. There is no reason for that. None. I can't tell you how many matches I have watched on AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision that should have been 5 minutes or less that got fucking 8, 9, 12, 16 minutes. 72 seconds, go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And for what? Are TJ going to actually dethrone Divine Dominion? Because, spoiler alert, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, they won their eliminator match tonight. They survived the 5 minutes. They're getting the shot against Divine Dominion.
Okay, then.
So if they lose, what was the point?
Meh.
My second issue is why was there not a women's Owens match on this show? If you were only going to feature 2 Owen matches, there should have been a men's and a women's. Because we had 2 at the pay-per-view, and now we had 2 on Dynamite. I almost said Raw to default because it's so programmed. We had 2 at the pay-per-view and 2 on Dynamite. So we've done the entire men's bracket. We've done 1 match for the women. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Because
we still have 3 women's matches to go.
Yeah, and 2 participants in the other 2 women's matches that, so far as I'm aware of, the only one mentioned next week Wednesday. The other 2 have participants that are not fully cleared yet at the time that it was made, and they were going to be done later.
Okay,
so I think they basically just started with the men and just do the women second.
But what does that say about the women? They're second to the men. And on top of all that, we're shooting our load with the wild card next week. We're Jason Biggsing this shit in American Pie. I think everybody else in the room gets it. Where he just touches Shannon Elizabeth and blows his load. Okay? That's what we're doing. We're exposing our trump card right out the jump on TV. Not the last match for the women in the Owen for the opening round. Not the next to the last match. No. Second match. Let's just throw it out there. Let's just whip our dick on the table. This is who it is. If it's not Mercedes, I think it's going to be a disappointment to people. Now, I've heard chatter about other names that it could be. And while I wouldn't be so disappointed in some of those names because everybody knows how I feel about Mercedes and her not being in this tournament, so she has to lose the last belt that she has to complete her downward spiral would be poetic. I just don't see it. But other names being thrown around are Charlie, the former Dakota Kai, Priscilla Kelly. Like there's some heavy hitters, Zoe Stark, that are being thrown out there as being a possible for this wild card. I don't see it. But if we're going to do, it's just dumbfounding to me. And I think it goes back to the point that Nick brought up. Yes, he actually said something smart, people. It does happen occasionally. I'm sure his wife will attest to it.
Honey, I'm smart.
I didn't say that. I said you say smart stuff occasionally.
Well, even a blind squirrel can find their nuts, and a broken clock is right twice a day. Continue.
I was just going to say, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
And we like nuts.
So I think a lot of it has to do with Tony being a little bit too exhausted, trying to do too much. I mean, we didn't even know the card until Tuesday. granted, we're coming off a pay-per-view, but usually he's got a couple of matches out there Sunday night, first thing Monday morning. We literally knew nothing until Tuesday, going into Wednesday. And to Nick's other point, when you're coming off a show that was as hot as this, you want to follow it up with something, even if you can't equal it as hot, right in the same margin. You know, if your pay-per-view was a 10, this Dynamite had to at least be like an 8. And from the response I'm hearing from people, this was like a 6.5.
Yeah.
And that's being gracious. So that's where my biggest issue comes with this, is the 72-second squash match. That if TJ don't win the titles, what was the purpose of it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Allie having come off of Lone Stone in that publicity, coming off of leaving GCW and trying to establish herself outside of her home promotion for the first time in like 5 years.
Yeah.
And you're going to do her dirty like that?
All right.
I don't know, Noah. Maybe you can present some kind of counterpoint to me, but like, it's stuff like that that leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's justified as a fan that wants to see the progression of the women's division and other names move forward and also not be kind of lost in the shuffle in the development. And again, TJ are one of the original AEW, if not the original AEW women's tag teams. But much like I look at New Japan and Stardom, it just feels like a Stardom booking. You hang with the champion or you hurt the champion's pride, you call them out for a challenge. You basically are put in line to challenge for the titles, if not during a major show on the road, the next major show on their schedule. And, of course, right now, the next major show for New Japan, outside the Best Super Juniors tournament, will be, of course, Dominion. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be covering that. So before I go further, elaborate into my outlook on Dynamite and give you all the track rundown, Nick, I do see your handler. Sounds like you want something to. Sounds like you have something to say to respond to what JJ threw down. Go ahead.
So, couple things.
Go for it.
I mean, the Owen. You guys know how I felt about it with the women's bracket. The fact that we had who we have in this bracket, I think, is a little bit nonsensical in and of itself. To the point of the women Owen matches not being on Dynamite. The one match, just to put it into context, the one match with the wild card and Alex Windsor, that, I mean, yeah, I think, I don't know why that wild card wasn't on this week. The fact that it was moved off of Double or Nothing and it's going on Dynamite leads me to believe that it's not a name like Mercedes. I said, while the names out there like Charlie, they sound great. Maybe I can see it being Charlie. If you're expecting anybody from the recent releases of talent, that's not happening. So if you're thinking Zoe Starks, not happening. Any of those women, it's not happening. The only name that makes any logical sense besides it being Charlie would be what's her face from TNA that asked for her release and got it granted.
Danny Luna.
Exactly.
That's another one I heard.
That would be the only one that makes sense because TNA don't have any non-compete clauses in their contract. So therefore, when she asked for her release, I think she just had a release. So lends me to believe that maybe it's a visa thing and they're trying to get her visa. Priscilla Kelly, maybe. I mean, yeah, I can see it. I could also see Myron's wife
Killer Kelly, yeah, that's fair. We saw
That's
her
another
show up
one.
in Major Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, so at Las Vegas. That's a fair shout too. She was
Yeah.
also on my name.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low level, not low tier, but I think it's not a Mercedes. I mean, if Mercedes is coming back, then maybe just a ratings boost.
Which, let's be honest, Dynamite sorely needs.
Yeah, I mean, if they're doing it just for a ratings boost, yeah, I could see it.
But if it's going to be Mercedes, then she should be announced. That way, you're guaranteed.
Exactly, right? Unless people, again, to your point, want to assume that it's her, and then get disappointed when it's not, and then just start bitching and moaning. In regard to the other two matches, I know that from the reports, Persephone was hurt.
Yep.
So she was the one that was injured, and they were waiting for her to come back. That's why Hazumi was on the collision card tonight in a match against Maya World, and Persephone was on commentary. So they're waiting to do that match, and then also the other match. It was Sari, who I think recently announced that she was injured and she was holding off all of her dates till June. So that's why they haven't done that match yet. But then again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. Why the fuck are we putting in people who have no business being a part of this? Forbidden Door season or not, those two women, and to a degree, Persephone, have no business being in an Owen Hart tournament. That just shows me Tony don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Not when you've got the people like Megan Bain, Lena Cross.
No, there's no excuse.
And if Megan and Lena Divine Dominion are going to lose the titles at Forbidden Door to TJ, that frees them to be open to challenge for the world title at All In.
I don't see that happening.
Well, this is
just throwing it out there because I know there's a lot of contention with people and double belting champions right now. So you defend the titles at Forbidden Door to TJ since they won their opportunity. They lose the belts to TJ since they're the original women's tag team. And to my point, otherwise, why the fuck did they beat people in 72 seconds if they're not going to win the belts?
Well,
then you free them up to potentially challenge for the title at Wembley.
Yeah.
You know, without getting, double belting.
Yep. And you're right. But I think actually, and I mean, let's be real, I don't think anybody has. I mean, it is what it is. You guys can be mad at me after. We got announced tonight that the TBS title will be defended in a survival of the fittest match.
Interesting. Now, do they announce the participants, or are there going to be qualifying matches?
There will be 6 qualifying matches leading up to when that match takes place. And I think from what I understood is that 6-way survival of the fittest match will be on a Dynamite. It's not like it's going to be on a Forbidden Door. From my understanding, I could be wrong. Okay. So if that's the case, and that's going to be a survival of the fittest match, well, then you want to, drum up that hole that is the TBS title. At this point, you might as well take the titles, those tag team titles, off of Divine Dominion. You put them on TJ, and that way you have Megan Bain going after the TBS title, and you have her be the next TBS champion. I think that solidifies that title. And then, I mean, TJ has the tag team championships. They were the original. Let's be real. They were the original women's tag team in AEW. Let's not kid ourselves. Give them the championship. Let them run with it. See how they do. But yeah, I think I don't know. I just with Tony's booking sometimes it infuriates me to no end because it's like, again, to your credit, 72 seconds. Like we can't give these women feuds. Like you started something with Stat and Sheeta. I mean, like that. Like give us. I've always said it. I don't know how many times. Yes, AEW is a wrestling first company. We like our wrestling. I get it. That's the focus. But we're also telling week to week television. Give me a reason to be hooked onto the television. I don't know why. Again, the in-ring product, you can have it. It's all about in-ring styles. I get it. It's all about the in-ring work and the wrestling. But give me stories behind it where I can actually be invested in it. Because at some point, if I want to watch just wrestling, I'd watch amateur wrestling. Like, what am I doing here? You know? So, again, Tony, for all the great that he's done, and he's put on great pay-per-views, translate that to the weekly product. Make it, when we talked about it, back in the day, in the 90s and the early 2000s, there was no such thing as DVR. There was no such thing as pausing on your television, rewinding. No. Back then, television was appointment television. If you missed it, you either had to grab a tape from your friend that they recorded, or you're shit out of luck. That's not like that.
The must-see TV came from.
And right now, especially with AEW, again, the pay-per-views are solid. We know that. We just got off one of the hottest pay-per-views I think we've seen in a while. Every wrestling fan can say that, I think, confidently. But to come out and give us what they did on Wednesday, there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for the lack of creativity that he is giving us, and there is no excuse for the lack of week-to-week compelling stories and television. Not to say there's not stories, there's just not good stories. And like I said, there's no excuse. There's none.
All right. Well, thank you all for that trope about criticism with creative. All right. Well, that being said, again, every person has burnout, even a freaking promoter, but that's why you also don't put all your eggs in one basket. And also, with that being said, if you're cooling off after a pay-per-view just to try and rebuild something towards another pay-per-view, if it's a slow burn, to try and build what you constantly do, because at the end of the day, if the major product still meets expectations of what fans want, then you can deal with mid-range TV in a world where the attention span is shorter than a freaking TikTok. So, honestly, the Dynamite was okay, and still Dynamite's the only live show I will watch every week, while everything else is highlight or ignore. Simple as that. As far as Dynamite goes, Speedball Mike Bailey and freaking Kevin Knight just be no longer a thing. Kevin Knight going to business himself, pulling out the turtleneck, gold chain, trying to be his own freaking Dwayne Johnson. It goes back to the confidence that Kevin Knight has found himself this year, breaking out on his own after facing MJF, being the last person to beat him, and also Swerve Strickland telling him he's the future and saying if you want to be a killer, you have to literally be able to become a killer yourself or hang with killers. So that subtle face-to-face with Swerve and him backstage, I think tells a lot with Kevin Knight's future. And now we got a different story for the TNT Championship. As far as the women's division, it's always going to be flawed. Women's wrestling's always been flawed, except for the Knockouts division back in its highlight days when it was freaking ran by Gail Kim and Deanna Purrazzo was forerunning it. So it is what it is with women's wrestling across the board. If you're constantly into the same two stories on the Fed, good for you. NXT, at least they're trying something. That being said, as far as the women go, I'm just curious to see who Fekala will face in the end. If not, been endured. Tension with the Stardom president probably picking up. And I think that's another reason why we got Stardom Town here. I think she is going to face somebody from Stardom for that title been endured. And then that's going to be a bridge to build the way towards Wembley Stadium. Speaking of Wembley, I still think it's going to be Brawlin' Verse versus Divine Dominion. Just maybe a spoiler alert for you. But as far as wild card and injuries aside and showcasing cross-promotion awareness and blah, 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 it is what it is with that. I'm not going to trope over that. As far as the men's Owens, good matches, though. Brody King, Clark Esnoli, definitely my match of the night. I love when those two freaking slap the shit out of each other and bash one another. Talk about a hard-hitting media affair. The angle with the dogs and Cope and Christian as Walter seemed very entertained by the two Grandes, so good for him. Don't give a fuck.
Match is hilarious. Just a Mexican comedian, like a very famous, and he's blind. And the original went to go mess with him, and he beat the shit out of him with that cane. And shit is hilarious. And then Rayo just did a crazy ass dive off the tallest balcony.
Again, like anything, wrestling or entertainment, it's all subjective.
This fucking match is hilarious, but it's so awesome.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Then again, you're also Latino, so that might play in your favor. Then anyway, I'm Italian, so again, that shit, I don't give a facole. That being said, if you know, you know, folks. Go read a Rosetta Stone. Again, as far as Dynamite, I didn't expect anything major, but I'm glad to see that we still have major implications across the AEW Men's World Championship. We're pushing Kevin Knight forward in his own direction, Konosuke in his own direction. Clark Casnode and Brody King definitely was a major pickup for the show. Jungle Jet Prairie, Mark Davis, nice hat trick. I don't need these two facing each other again. Like, seriously. I still think Chris Statler and Sheeta should close down. I don't think you needed the extra hour collision. And as far as the women's tag team scene, it is what it is. When I think it's inevitable, I think the Brawling Birds are going to take them, and I do think Lena Cross and Megan Bay will continue to be the foundation to dominate with their divine dominion. I think Ty J is just like a buffer. And now I'm curious to see where Sheeta goes next. As far as Survivor the Fittest for the TBS Championship, since you spoiled that collision moment, since you spoiled an announcement, I'm not going to be pissed off at you, because regardless, I'll be talking about it anyway on Wednesday when I'm covering Dynamite, whether on my own or with you again. Survivor the Fittest, folks, is a six-way eliminator match. Keyword eliminator, not a scramble. It comes down to the last person involved via pinfall or submission inside the ring after all others are eliminated. That will be the brand new TBS champion. Okay. Well, I'm hoping it gives a lot of promising young female talent on the AEW roster a chance to break out and be the new face. Right now, Megan Bailey to Cross, they got their place. I would not be surprised to see.
Mina's going to be in it. Please.
What?
Please tell me Mina's going to be in it. Because if they
don't know who's going to be in it.
Mina,
no, you just want to see Mina as champion. You just want Mina, all right? I understand.
We all want Mina.
I mean, if it just came off of Willow, it's kind of like, give it to
from
Mina
one
now.
Smiley to another.
Yeah.
You're right.
But see, Mina's been on a losing streak. Mina hasn't won anything that matters to justify being that champion.
Exactly. So, again, the jury is
I
out.
think Zeta Steel has more wins than Mina Shirakawa does.
You would be right. And her and what's her name? Viva Van, the Hell Bent deal. Not a bad tag team. And also, honestly, Zeta Steel, I think she could be a great TBS champion. Maybe Julia Hart's involved in this too. Triangle Matters trying to take over everything. Of course, Tekla has been very vocal about face maybe Sky Blue. So at least, again, there's aspects. But I'm not expecting anything from TV to be like, must see, tune in, don't want to DVR it. That's just not the day and age we live in. If you are looking for that in your product, you're going to be highly disappointed. Be content in what you see, or just find a way to look at the highlight for the only thing that means anything. There's a reason why the only thing from the Fed I look at involves pretty much Lyra Valkyria, where I'm waiting to see her get out of the Bailey mid-range tag team vortex that her and Bailey seem very content with, and both those women deserve better. I've had enough of the Judgment Day tell for freaking 1 century. But yeah, as far as Dynamite, it was okay. Didn't need the extra hour of collision. I'm curious to see how we get violent in the Cajun Cope and the Dogs narrative now for the tag titles and the AEW Men's World Championship. Bruce versus MJF. Okay, tell me that's not a freaking red herring for Andrade to face him eventually. Don Callis family imploding. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. And if I were to say go see one thing for this Dynamite, it's definitely for a match. Clark Casnode, Brody King for a segment. Probably the Cajun Cope. So, again, it was TV. It is what it is. I've learned nowadays to not put TV at a high pedestal because you just don't get that anymore with anything. So, it is what it is with that. So, again, stay tuned when we cover more of the ON next week, where we know we're going to have Alex Winter versus Wild Card, Speedo Mike Billy versus Kevin Knight, MJF versus Roos, and yes, both the TNT Championship and the AEW Men's World Championships will be on the line. We also know we got the semifinals now, and it will be Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. Will Ospreay working with the Death Riders and getting a trio submission type win where Ospreay got the win with the flying armbar, the Death Crown, against the Rascals on Collision. That was an interesting tease. And the opening with Omega saying, "I'll be there for you." Omega, Ospreay, Moxley, together, triple threat. Okay, see what you're trying to tease there. So, again, wait to see what happens. But Dynamite, it was all right. And at least I'm actually seeing, Double or Nothing concluded. Let's see some new stuff. Okay, some new stuff. Still need to do more with the women's division. Then again, the entire wrestling business needs to do more with women's wrestling. And they have yet to still do that, which is why the only thing I give credit to is Stardom. So that being said, go ahead, Walter.
The fact that Ospreay is still working with Death Riders, you have got to make Claudio and Ospreay the finals. Like, you got to tell that story. It's in there. Like, you have got to make that the finals of the Owen.
So now you're going to Cloud Castagnoli versus Ospreay for the finals. Interesting.
But Claudio's already out.
Yeah, about to say, Walter.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, you didn't. Brody King, somehow, some way, after getting dealt with a pop-up uppercut, took his damn head off with that right arm lariat, fell in the cover, and got the win, both to the brink of exhaustion. It was fucking awesome.
Well,
Tony,
now you're just fucking it up all kinds of ways.
Well, I mean, you also, let's call it what it is. You did talk about Swerve Strickable Ospreay. Hello. You called that being the finals, and that's also a Forbidden Door rematch, considering last time these two were involved in Forbidden Door 2 years ago, Swerve was the damn champion and beat Ospreay in the main event. So there's a story there because he hasn't been in that, man. So while there's one story you don't agree with, there's another story that's being run back, as the trouble of the wrestling business is, that very well could be the freaking outlook in who wins this year's Men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So again, we'll see what happens. But again, folks, if your expectation is must-see TV, get over it. You're not getting it. Find what you like, stay away from what you don't, hope for the better from what displeases you. But I thought AEW Dynamite was all right, but it doesn't need to be 3 hours. I don't think no wrestling product needs to be 3 hours, period. And I understood why he did to make up for the Fairway to Hell hour thing on Collision. It is what it is. But overall, it was a nice, soft way to literally decompress off the high that we got from Sunday, and I feel all right with them doing just that. Okay, well, that being said, that was AEW Dynamite Fallout. I hope that you all enjoyed that topic and lend your thoughts, and I hope you continue to follow our coverage as we continue to cover the Owen Hart Foundation tournament for both the men and the women, and also coming out there right now, I really am leaning towards Dani Luna. Not only is she British, not only do I know that those two are going to take the lariat off each other, she also is a free agent, and she would be another strong powerhouse debut in the AEW women's division. And I want to see Dani Luna wreck shop in a company where the women actually like to get hardcore and wreck shop. That being said, Burt Vixen, by the way, just saying, get this girl all elite. That being said, thank you all for tuning in this first time. When we come back from this commercial break, I am going to be able to coast things very easily as we recap what was discussed during the Kid Bandit interviewing as the tired edition of the Saturday Shenanigans continues. Stay tuned and we'll see you on the other side of this.
And now for a taste of things to come.
And as always, here as that trailer shows you, here the Silver Studios, which truly encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, pontificate, analyze, criticize, and react to. Oh, God bless this damn sinus headache. Oh, Lord, forgive me. the wrestling. And welcome back here to the tired edition of Saturday Shenanigans, brought to you by melatonin. If I could take that with my heart medicine, I would. So thank you all for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Continue to be part of the conversation. If you want to dictate it, super chat, pay that patch. It's as simple as that. As we segue into our second topic, of course, we continue here to bring an outlook and a beacon and a spotlight towards all the great men, women, workers, promotion promoters of professional wrestling with our recent interview endeavors. This past week, we were able to have the fortunate pleasure of interviewing Kid Bandit, not only who recently retired from the business, but decided to start their own promotion. And this promotion, of course, will bring a different highlight on the uniqueness of the professional wrestling business. So with that being said, I am now going to trade it off to spearhead this section of conversation and give some cliff notes and highlights on the interview to the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. So JJ, talk to us about what the interview was like with Kid Bandit this past week on Mid-Range Shenanigans. Go ahead.
First of all, I want to say a huge thank you once again to Kid Bandit for giving us almost 90 minutes of her time. Very fun interview. Another SoCal resident, living out in the LA area. So while for me it was a very windy, like 50-something degrees, and for Walter in NorCal, it was actually kind of rainy. It was beautiful blue skies and sunshine where Kid was. So she went outside, was just kind of chilling on her lawn and shit. Like,
as people do.
It was just fun. It was probably the most casual conversation we've had with somebody because of the surroundings for her. I know Nick was a little bit booty jumbled because I didn't get his signature question in. I didn't ask what she does or did technically for a pre or post match meal, which the fact that she's now retired may have been why I didn't do it, because she no longer does pre post match meals. So that may have been why it slipped my mind.
Justified.
But we do have the signature questions that we try to get in, and that one slipped my mind. Came at me in the chat about it, so apologies again to him for forgetting his question. But
no, I was just kidding, buddy. I was just kidding.
I know you were.
Are you offending people?
No,
by no means was I offended. I'm just fucking with you, bro.
No, now my wife says I'm being a dick. No, I was. I swear to God, we like.
You've already hit that milestone in the opening tonight that brought our Canadian friend Ash in. I'm just saying, he already got his dick moniker. Continue.
What do you mean? What did I do at the beginning of the show?
You know what you did.
Talking about how AEW has no respect for Manitoba.
No. I never said they don't. Well, I mean, it's Manitoba.
It's recorded, dude. You can't deny it.
The only good that came out of Manitoba is what? Yeah, it'd be Ash. That's it. That's like the only good thing. Other than that, what's good about Manitoba? I know it's cold. It's wet.
Thanks for ruining any interview we could have had with Jericho ever.
Yeah, way to go, dickhead. Oh, yeah, that's right. Jericho and Ciampa, now that's a thing, as this is his moment, apparently.
If it weren't for Manitoba, none of y'all would have power. You're welcome for the motherfucking Hydro.
Really? Wait, according to Ash, we wouldn't have Hydro if it wasn't for Manitoba. Oops. My bad.
All right, this is not a Canadian debate. This is a interview recap, so shut your face. Go back to JJ.
Hey, listen, if it wasn't for Ontarians, you guys wouldn't have.
Never mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I don't know what you guys would have.
Doot. All right, well, he wasted his 3 seconds. JJ, continue your thoughts in the interview.
Good job, honey.
So, I also want to thank Carlos for joining us for the interview. It was nice having another person on the panel who represents the LGBTQ community and was able to broach the interview from that aspect. But Kid, very gracious, like I said, gave us almost an hour and a half. We talked about growing up poor in the Philippines, how she didn't even discover professional wrestling until video games. Here Comes, or Know Your Role and SmackDown versus Raw 07 were like her introduction to pro wrestling.
Good choice, sis.
She retired after only 4 years in the business, which blew my mind to know that she'd only been in it for that short. I thought she had been in it a little bit longer. Not much longer, but I thought she was closer to like a 10-year vet.
No, I remember Kid Bandit when we first talked to her as part of ATW in the early days of our Family on the X in the pandemic. She was just like starting in the business.
She did say that she's hoping to start a professional wrestling school and that she does not want to be the person running her new company. She's kind of right now the default person doing it because she's the one with the funds. But if she can be like the silent money person and let somebody else with the knowledge take over the reins, she gladly will, so that she can focus her time and attention into training. That I found very interesting. And Walter and I were both like, well, we don't have promotion experience, but if you need a booking team, we've been told that we've got great creative ideas. And she was like, let's survive our first show first, and then we'll see. So, you know, hey, whether she was humoring us or serious, there could be a potential opportunity there.
Good luck in that.
We did have a conversation about anime. Specifically a Power Rangers anime that she's kind of into, which then spiraled into a conversation about the Power Rangers.
Oh, bloody hell.
Proper, which, you know, that was always fun to have some Power Ranger chatter. Yeah, I highly recommend anybody go back and either watch the interview on our respective channels or listen to our interview on Spotify by looking up Saturday Shenanigans and check it out there. But it was a really good chat, and we're supposed to have. ... Let me preface it like that. We are supposed to have
Cars are to change.
The center of attention, Brittany Brooks, this Tuesday. I did message her earlier today to confirm, and she wrote back to me saying that she might have a big opportunity for that day. And if that does come through, she'll have to postpone and reschedule. And told her, by all means, you know, if you've got a huge opportunity, take it. We can always reschedule with you. We understand, you know. So just, if that doesn't happen on Tuesday, that is why. I did message somebody that Ash recommended. I have not heard back from the GHC World Champion as of yet.
Global Underground.
But I did message Mr. Shane Haste, because she made sure to tag me when she saw his post about how he's available for podcasts and interviews. So, you know, if I do secure this, Ash needs to make sure she's actually there for this interview. And it's not I have to work. It's no, let me put that day in so I can make sure I get that off for work so I can be there and talk to him and wear her orange TMDK shirt.
I will say this. Whenever that may be, I might be able to get that week off because of holidays. Because now that I'm an assistant manager, I can get holidays now.
Yes, you can, but use them wisely. I'm just saying, use your time wisely.
I was going to say, don't use a whole week for one interview.
I'm just saying I could.
Just a day.
You just started, all right? Don't burn the wick too quick, all right?
No, of course not. Just I'll have funny jokes, guys.
I know.
Respect.
And then I will say that I have communicated with somebody else. a core kid who used to be known for his big body, Mr. Javi Bernal, has agreed to an interview. Just need to iron out the details as far as date goes with him. That one was an interesting one because I saw he was live on his Twitch via an X post. So I popped into his Twitch while he was live. And I went to the Walter playbook and I asked him, may I please DM you regarding a possible interview? And he saw it and, responded to me on the air. He was like, yes, you can. And thank you for asking first instead of just sliding into the DMs.
Nice.
So
respect.
Big Body Javi, formerly of WWE NXT, now Core Kid Javi, significant other to everybody's favorite Tatum Paxley, will be joining us at some point in the not so distant future as well.
All right, then. And with that car revving its engines down the expressway above the speed limit, it sounds like, or motorcycle. Nick, I see you had a question real quick. Go ahead.
What did you use the links that I sent you in regards to the anime stuff in the chat?
I have not as of yet.
Okay, yeah, use those links.
I have, and I only watched like a few minutes of it, but the shit is funny.
Did you use the links, Walter? Were they good links?
Yeah, a thing pops up, so you kind of gotta X out of it a couple times to actually get it. Like, but I'm used to that because I what I used to do before the SR Studio, so I already know.
Yeah, those are the two links that I use for all my animes. It beats paying. No offense, love pay for services. Yeah, but I mean, I ain't paying for Crunchyroll. And then the second thing is with all of these announcements, I'd be remiss to say that we had again a great time at Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, and those are boys for life, and that'd be great. But if you guys know any podcasts, rock solid, Wrestle Junkies, that you would like to see us collaborate with, you should hang them in here and tell them that the Simply Reliable Studios want to work with you.
Cheap plug.
I mean, he's out of line, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
The word of the year, as he said, is collaboration. So let's make it happen. We're going into June. We're starting the 6th month of the year. And we're on a roll right now. Let's keep it rolling like Fred Durst and the rest of Limp Bizkit. Because I know y'all be loving this shit right here.
Okay. Thank you for that cheap plug, Nick, and endorsement, of course, for what we do here. Again, folks, you are tuning in for the first time ever. Follow us today at SR Studios 2024 on the X. Some point we will kill that bird and get the appropriate symbol here. But in the meantime, you know what it is.
The bird is the word. I told you that on Simply Predicting. The Trashman told us that years ago.
And that show is also fucking stupid for bringing that back.
And I'm not mentioning Family Guy. I was going to leave that out of it. But the Trashmen still made that song in the 60s. That song was in Full Metal Jacket in the 80s, long before there was a Family Guy. Okay? The bird is the word.
And the song is stupid. All right, Ash, let's go ahead and get your thoughts towards Kid Bandit's outlook on maybe starting their own promotion and finding a booker versus themselves, and any highlights you might have from either her career or that interview. Did you check out any of the interview at all, or the highlights, or anything you want to say regarding Kid Bandit, what you heard here?
I can't wait to see their the first show of their new venture. What's it called? T4T Wrestling?
Correct.
I cannot wait to see the first show of that. It's going to be so cool. I mean, I've still seen like who they all have scheduled for it, and oh my god, it's amazing. It's the best. I love it. That's what we need more of. More representation.
The one of the day is representation according to Ash.
100%. I mean, they've got 4 of the biggest trans names in the business lined up for their first show. Dark Chic, Nyla Rose, Sunny Kiss, and the quintessential diva Giselle Shaw.
It's a hell of a starting lineup right there. That's a freaking fatal four-way waiting to happen, too. All right. I'm surprised you didn't say Mercedes Martinez, despite being on the road to retirement. I was about to say, advocate as well. So, all right. Anything else, Ash, regarding Bandit and her career, or any other takeaways from the interview?
I haven't seen a full match of theirs. The first full match of theirs I watched was from Effie's Big Gay Brunch, but I've seen a lot of their highlights, and they looked so cool. Like, I would have loved to see more of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was cool. She went in depth. Her pronouns are she, her.
Okay.
Yes.
Just an FYI.
Okay.
In case people are wondering.
Okay.
She went in depth during the interview about what was going through her mind in the moment after that match was over. So, again, really cool stuff to get into.
Well, I just hope that, again, as all wrestlers should find in their career, whether long or short, they get the closure that they want from it, and they dictate the way that they want to do it. So, again, in a year where Hiroshi Tanahashi, Saki Kashima, AJ Styles have now all officially retired, add Kid Bandit's name to the list, apparently. Good grief. Well, I'm wondering who's next.
Sandman, Vampiro.
Oh, yeah, Sandman. I forgot about Sandman. And Vampiro.
All of those were back-to-back shows, too, because you had Sandman at Spring Break. The next show of the night was the Juggalo show. And then the first show the next day was Big Gay Brunch.
There you go.
Boom, boom, boom. 3 retirements in a row. And
All
then
right.
later that day was the Brock Lesnar Obafemi, and we thought Brock retired. And, well, but that's, we'll get more into that tomorrow.
Who's covering that tomorrow anyway? Am I getting the day off, or I got to be on the clock?
We'll discuss it after the show.
I'm about to say, I don't think nothing's official yet because, hey, you know what? If I can take more vacation time, I will. All right. Well, thank you for that, Ash. Nick, despite the fact you've already kind of chilled what we do here in interviews, why don't you go ahead and shed any thoughts and lights you have from the Kid Bandit interview and the outlook of this promotion that she wants to bring forward? Go ahead.
It was good. It was really good. You guys did a great job. Sorry, yeah, you guys did a great job. Very solid. Great questions. Missed my question. It's okay. I still love you guys. Other than that, it was a great show.
You still bring it up. You still bring it up. I still sense a little bit of saltiness. You still bring it up.
Well, yeah,
All right.
use the chick on the Morton's bottle.
Anyway, it was good. It's very good. Yes, it was very good. It's very good. All right, got it. It was good. Very simple expression. It was good.
I have a question for Nick.
Go for it.
Since I know that he did watch it, and I'm not asking this question to spark anything, so I hope it can stay cordial, but what did you think about Carlos's participation in the interview?
It was great. Very thorough.
Okay.
All right. All right, and with that, Walter, were you part of the interview, or do you have any takeaways or highlights? And what do you think about Kid Bandit starting her own promotion?
I'm glad she's doing it. As an ally of the community, it's good. It's good to have a safe space, especially in wrestling. It's good to grow up, to be in this time where it's more widely accepted. Because if this was the 80s and 90s, whew, it'd be very difficult. So I'm glad it's that. But she says she's focused more on producing. Like, she really doesn't want to do this, but she has to start it, and she hopes she doesn't go broke trying to go behind it. But she's fucking hilarious. Like, some of the stuff we asked her, most people would give you like a 1 or 2 sentence like kind of answer. Dude, she goes in debt, and like at one point she like freaking apologizes for being long-winded. We're like, hell no, don't apologize. We love that shit.
You realize who you're talking to, Kid Bandit? I'm just saying.
she's fucking hilarious too, dude. Like her jokes are like I feel like our personalities mesh very very well, and hopefully, hey, I told her if she ever needs commentators, whatever, me and JJ would do it. So yeah, man, I had a blast with her, especially me feeling down this week and that day in particular. Like it really flipped the mood. So I'm glad we were able to do that.
All right, fair
Yeah,
enough.
to Walter's point, there's certain people we've interviewed who, especially early in the interview, I don't feel like they're warmed up to us. You know, maybe it takes a little bit because we don't usually have them in prior to the intro. You know, I usually send them the link as the intro is running, so there's no like pre-show hanging out and vibing like we do sometimes. So they'll come in almost in the middle of the intro and kind of just by seeing our clips try to get a vibe of us. So it takes a little bit of time for them to kind of like warm up to us.
Right.
And that was kind of the same with Kid, but I feel like she just warmed up to us a lot quicker to where, you know, when you're not really warmed up to someone or you're still trying to read them, like Walter said, you kind of get those 1 or 2 word, maybe a sentence answers. And then if you feel comfortable with someone, you're able to just bleh, you know, and it just be comfortable with people. And I think she felt comfortable with us very early to where she was willing to dive deep and give more in-depth answers. I forget what it was, but she even said that there was one thing that she said during the interview that was the first time she's ever said it to anybody outside of like her close circle. So the fact that she was willing to give us privileged information like that, regardless of what it was, shows how comfortable she felt with us.
And again, to Match's point, where again, I always talk about everybody as a person at the end of the day, support but not respect each other. You definitely want to bring that sense of human understanding towards whoever you're speaking to under any sort of circumstance. So if our platform can encourage more of that to the point that someone truly believes that they can be that with us, and I think we're doing something right, and that others should follow by example. At the end of the day, your choices are your own. Who you are is who you choose to be. We have no right to judge, criticize, or even try and figure out who you are, control who you are. Almost feels like that companion video to a degree. But that being said, Kid Bandit, thank you so much for your time and what you've given to the business. And I hope that this aftermath endeavor that you choose to pursue only brings more forward towards others that can not only relate to you, but also can be represented by the example that you set in what you choose to do and what you're choosing to bring. And again, if you need commentary, you got 3 people here that are definitely ready to go up and bat. And also, if you need another voice that also represents what you are for this business, look up Sienna Chanel. She does incredible, great work for that side of the business on the independent scene as well. Shout out to Sienna Chanel. Follow her on the X today and her continued wrestling endeavors and ring announcing and wrestling management. Yes, JJ, I see your hand.
Did you watch the interview at all? What did you think? Because I know I asked you to watch it. So
I haven't had a chance to watch the interview. I saw the bits of it between work and just downtime and just white noise listening. Because more often than not, if I'm actually listening to something that's talk related versus watch related, it's during downtime at work. And there was little to none actually this week, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, I thought that again, all these interviews, like I said, they're a welcome, open platform where at the end of the day, we're just trying to engage somebody that shares the same passion we have for this business, but more importantly, bring a spotlight onto them to bring their story and their personality versus their business acumen, what they do only for the freaking four-sided ring side of the business. And I think that's what's more important here. It's literally a more like, hello, social engagement versus just, okay, professional business development. And I think that's what also helps us stand out. So again, if you want to look more at those interviews, whether it was against Kai McKenna, Jasmine Allure, Kayla Lopez, everybody you saw in that intro, Rachel Lay, the list goes on and on. Alejandra Quintanilla, of course, and going all the way back to even one time when we had Mr. I Told You So himself, Gino Rivera. You can find all that here in the archives, the Saturday Shenanigans, and of course, past lives, some of this podcast on YouTube, and of course, all our recent interview endeavors with also not only wrestlers, but promoters on Spotify. Just look up Saturday Shenanigans, use the hashtag Saturday Shenanigans, spread the word, be part of the conversation, and let people know what we represent and what we hope to bring forward here to the wrestling business at SR Studios 2024. And that's not an insult, that's just a fact of life. Yeah. All right. Well, that being said, Figure Kid Bandit, and all the best. And especially with talking about representation, you all know what's coming up here after today, considering everyone's outlook and perspective of the month of June. Just saying. And all I got to say to that, God bless all of you. All right. Well, that being said, and Lord have mercy on humanity. Let's go ahead and move into something else that may be a wild card topic here, or this might be one of the shortest, we tired as fuck edition of Shenanigans, which I'll be perfectly fine with. Did anyone engage in MLW Fusion? Because it was the debut of that form. Now, of course, MLW Fusion, we've already seen the likes of Bishop Dyer, Dijak, Stardom names, Rina and Saya Kamatani, I believe, have been involved in it. The former Lucha Underground promoter, Daria Cueto. And of course, they're talking about freaking what is it? Lucha Underground maybe coming back, but it sounds like to me they're just playing the archives. So it is what it is with that. But MLW Fusion, of course, had, I believe, a 2-hour show for free on YouTube. And of course, YouTube has been their forum. And the match card was as follows. Shoko Nakajima addressed Shotzi. For those that don't know, Shoko Nakajima works in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. She's also been involved in Pro Wrestling Eve. Samaya debuted. Scarlett Bordeaux was in singles action against Leah James. Leah James, of course, who was also part of the collective, also named from the UK. Shotzi versus Priscilla Kelly. Oh, look at that. Chemical X. Austin Aries, there's a name you didn't know or thought that you wouldn't see back in the ring again, versus Karen. Oh, wait, no, I mean Trevor Lee, Diego Hill versus Adam Brooks, the Good Brothers, who continue to go anywhere they can for tag team wrestling, it feels like. They took on Got It Boys on Top, Joe and Mark Coffey, Alex Hammerstone, who was a mainstay name in MLW with, of course, feuds against the likes of Jacob Atu. You gotta know what I mean. He took on Bishop Dyer. And we also had a press conference with the MLW World Champion, Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux, and much more. Again, this was MLW's Fusion. This was their, I guess you could say, season premiere, because they actually do have off time, folks, believe it or not. So did anyone catch any of that regarding MLW Fusion? Again, if you didn't catch it, you can go watch it, folks, on YouTube. Just go follow MLW Today. That's Major League Wrestling. Again, I'll just go around the horn. It's an open forum here for this last topic. So open mic, if anyone has anything to say, speak now. Forever hold your peace. 3 seconds. JJ, go ahead.
As I feel like I'm probably the only person that watched it, based off of the visual reactions I was getting from everybody else in the room. I thought it was a solid show. Trevor Lee versus Austin Aries, match of the night.
Screams X Division. I'm not surprised in the slightest.
Go watch it. Go out of your way to watch it. Honestly, potential match of the year candidate. Maybe not match of the year, but top 10 of the year. Like, it was that good. Yes, Austin Aries still has it, whether you want him to or not. I know how controversial he can be, even still. But he still has it. My issue with this show, and I hope it's something that can be corrected in time, I felt it was too front-loaded. Basically, the Shotzi PK match the Scarlett Bordeaux Aaliyah James match, and the Trevor Lee Austin Aries match were the first 3 matches.
Damn, there's your big 3 right there.
And in the mix of all that was the Cross press conference, and then the back end, while Bishop Dyer versus Hammerstone was the main event, so that's a solid main event. And you had the tag match with the Good Brothers and the Gallus Boys prior to that. Everything in the middle, everything else was very forgettable. It's, and especially with having watched on YouTube, it's, okay, let me fast forward until we get to some more good shit.
Click.
If this was television, I'd be changing the channel.
Damn.
And that's the way I look at it, because I look at it like I'm looking at it as regular TV, because it is still a TV show, even though it's being presented on YouTube. And you don't want there to be that much, let me change the channel in the middle, because chances are they're not going to turn back.
Like I said, attention span of a TikTok.
They're going to find something. Well, you figure that I named the 2 women's matches, the Trevor Lee match, the tag match, the Hammerstone match. What did I not name? Because you've got everything in front of you there.
Trying to do it by memory because I've already gone lapsed. You said the Hammerstone, the Austin Aries, the Scarlett Bordeaux. Shotzi versus Priscilla Kelly.
That was the opener. That was fine.
Good Brothers versus the Gallus.
Okay, so the Diego Hill thing must be the only one, but it felt like there was more in the middle there. I think they announced who Cross's first opponent's going to be, which, surprise, surprise, it's going to be Matt Riddle.
Bro, wow, you couldn't get freaking Satoshi Kojima? Damn it. Continue.
They did the thing where the featherweight champion responded to Shotzi. I forget her name. You mentioned it earlier.
Soko Nakajima.
Thank you. They did that. So, there was a couple other things in the middle there, but it's just yes, thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, Zamaya. Her debut match was in the middle of all that, too. Zamaya looks like another Delta.
I'm about to say, her name sounds familiar to me, but I can't place my finger on it. I'm pretty sure I've seen her before in action.
Zarya, for those of you that only watch NXT, Noah's educated me, so. But that's who Zamaya reminds me of, is her.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, the Diego Hill thing, the Zamaya thing, the Nakajima thing, the Don Gato thing, who responded to Cross and signed the open contract. All that was kind of in the middle between Austin Aries, Trevor Lee, and the tag match. So that's a lot of space.
That's a lull right there. That's a lull.
I think it would have been better if they had spaced it out more. And especially, you don't want to give 2 women's matches back to back. If they had done Shotzi PK, then the Diego Hill, then the Scarlett match, then the tag match, then Zamaya, then the main event, kind of like boy, girl did. I think it might have had a little bit more flow, and there wouldn't have been as much reason to channel hop. But once that Aries match was over, you could have turned it away until the tag match happened. And that probably accounted for a good almost half hour of their TV.
Jeez.
And again, if you're watching regular TV and you turn away for that long, you get invested in a movie on another channel. You get invested in, a 2-3 episode Big Bang marathon,
Zinga.
Or Friends or whatever's out there, you know. There's all kinds of channels on the weekend that show like 3-4 episode blocks of like comedies.
Dude, there are 24/7 channels that show those series and
You're
cartoons.
like
and
Noah.
pictures
You end
and
up getting involved in some Card Sharks marathon on the Game Show Network.
I wish it was a marathon. I only get 1 damn hour, and sometimes these damn pointless shows are that I gotta freaking watch along, or you do a meeting or something like that. You purposely do it during it because it's only 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the damn Buzzer Network. Anyway,
they did a Lingo marathon, and I fucking watched every episode, dude. They used to be my show.
Oh, Lingo, Chuck Willery, rest in peace. As soon as they did the Bill Ingram one, I was like, what are they doing here? This does not feel the same. That's all.
I always loved the little noise on Lingo, the ding 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 ding.
Yep.
It reminded me of Will Smith on Fresh Prince going dum dum diddy.
Okay, I get the connection. Of course, the balls. Of course, you always wanted to avoid the red stopper. Continue. This actually woke me up. We're talking about game shows.
But in general, I thought it was a good presentation. They just need to do better timing and spacing of the episode so that there's not as much in the middle that's like fast forwardable.
You know,
and again, if you guys are fans of technical cruiserweight wrestling, I'm looking at you, Ash. Go out of your way to watch Austin Aries versus Trevor Lee. It was by and far match of the night. And like I said, top 10 contender going into the 6th month of the year.
I mean, Trevor Lee was always one of those that I knew was going to hit it big when he was able to actually wrestle the way that he could, respectfully for it. I mean, I remember the first time we covered MLW, we were calling a Trevor Lee match. I forget against who, and even though it ended under dubious means, it was still a friggin' banger. So I'm glad to know that Trevor Lee is still a mainstay of MLW. I hope that he actually becomes a champion. I think I'd rather see him face Killer Cross, but you know, it is what it is. All right, well, thank you for that, JJ. Well, Ash, with that simple outlook, and of course YouTube being, well, if you don't have premium, you're going to have advertisement breaks in general. So again, streaming advertising. What do you guys say regarding the
I just received a message from Big Body Javi trying to set up times.
Oh, all right.
While we're on the air right now, so continue, Ash, but I may have an update come the end of this topic.
Good deal. Thank you for that. That being said, Ash, I will now lend the mic to you. So Matt Riddle versus Killer Cross. Shotzi Blackheart, of course, still bringing her ballsiness to MLW against Soka Nakajima, possibly. For those that don't know, she works out at TJPW. She was loosely involved in Pro Wrestling Eve in a tournament to see who will challenge Chris Statler for the Eve National Championship. And it will be Miya Yamashita, by the way, at Eve 150. Congrats to Pro Wrestling Eve, by the way. I can't wait for that show, June 5th, on the YouTube channel exclusively. But what you guys say regarding MLW and what you heard about it and the spacing and the match and the card and the outlook of it? Go ahead.
This seems like a pretty interesting card. Some of the matches I might check out, depending if I can make time for it.
Yeah, I think on YouTube it ended up being about an hour and 45 minutes.
That sounds about right.
So if you fast forward that stuff in the middle that I mentioned, you're probably looking at about an hour of your time.
I was going to say
15 minutes.
I guess that's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, the power of YouTube. I wonder if they actually will like cut their YouTube, like you see like YouTube videos do that with videos like, here's what this segment's about. Here's what this segment about. Here's this segment about.
YouTube
Like,
shorts on it.
well, I don't know about shorts, but maybe timestamps within the bar itself versus below in the description. But I could see that also too.
Also, there's this one episode of Lingo that I saw on YouTube where this one team would say a word and then spell a completely different word after saying the word.
That's the panic that happens when you got a yellow letter and you don't know where to put it. Okay.
No, but this was throughout the whole episode this one person was doing.
Ah! Yeah, how well did that strategy go for you, dummy?
Right?
To be honest, it's not about what you say.
Couch.
Yeah, it's not about what you say. It is about what
exactly.
You spell. So if you spell the right word, you still win.
Someone even posted saying like, "Man, did this team ever abuse the rule of it's not what you say, it's what you spell."
And they figured out the loophole. They figure out the
We
loopholes
needed
when it comes down
Steve
to.
Harvey hosting that episode just so he could pull like a what the fuck.
I could see it, by the way. I could see it.
Can we do a lingo, please? Can we do another one? Wait, we got to do it.
Yeah, and fuck hints, by the way. I hated that shit. Either know how to spell father words or you just don't, damn it. Absolutely, let's do a freaking lingo. I will be glad to be Chuck Woolery for that shit and host it. Absolutely. We'll put a pin in it. I can definitely develop that. Game shows, my forte, my happiness. Okay,
So
back
if
to
you're
this.
out there watching and you would like to be a contestant on Simply Reliable Studios Lingo, it will be a $25 super chat.
There we go.
To secure your spot because it's one-on-one. We'll do 2 games, so 4 contestants available. You just gotta claim your spot via super chat. Noah will make the board and host.
I love what we're doing here. This is just beyond brilliant. I love what
You have
we're
to
doing
super
here.
chat. You have to super chat and be a subscriber to all the channels to qualify.
Yeah, but I'll say qualifications. Contestants have to meet certain qualifications.
I like that. You have to super chat because that's my channel, and you have to show that you're subscribed to Noah's channel, Walter's channel, Ash's channel, and Rangers of Wrestling.
Okay, well, that being said, stay tuned for LINGO for Lingo. All right, well, thank you for that, and thank you for that, Ash.
And since the 4th of July is a Saturday, we'll try to shoot for 4th of July lingo. That way we can just kind of have like a chill, fun episode without, on our nation's birthday.
Interesting food for thought and idea. All right, we will certainly look into that, and I will definitely work on that again, because last time that was very fun, but I think the hints screwed, if you know, folks. But anyway, all right, figure for that, JJ, figure for that, Ash. If Nick has not SLEEP yet, Nick, any thoughts you want to lend towards MLW Fusion debut? I will give you the mic for 3 seconds, otherwise I will consider you. Oh, there we go. You're already unmuted. Go ahead and speak.
No.
All right. Short, sweet, simple, and to the point. Walter, that leaves you. Walter, anything you want to say regarding the outlook of MLW Fusion debut based on what you heard and the card and the World Championship picture and the Featherweight Championship picture and the Women's Championship picture? Go ahead.
I didn't see it, but yeah, the way JJ put it on, it's something I gotta watch, and I'm probably gonna fast forward the middle stuff and really get to the Ace Austin match, but.
Not Ace Austin, Austin Aries.
Austin Aries.
Botch!
Oops.
Big botch. Totally different individual.
I know.
Hey, we're tired. It's all right. We're almost at the end of this freaking soiree, so it's all good. Okay. Again, it's one of those things where, touch and go with MLW for me as well, but it sounds like still a pretty worthwhile show. So I will definitely give it food for thought. Again, being a fan of Trevor Lee. I've been a fan of Trevor Lee ever since he was the X Division champion. For me, though, when it comes to the World Championship, really, all you have is Matt Riddle. Really, that's all we got here.
I will say Walter probably won't want to skip the Zamaya match because she faces Carolina Cruz. Who he had in our rental car.
I mean, he owes Carolina.
He'll want to see that match for sure.
But I say, I think you just gave Walter a reason to tune in even more. And
no relation, by the way.
No, not at all. Why would anyone think that's a relation? It's beyond me. I mean, I'm just saying.
They both have the same last name and they spell it the same way.
Jury is out. Fair enough. Okay, but that being said,
And Walter was the only one to even know how to pronounce her name correctly.
Oh, Cruz or Carolina?
No, the way she pronounces Carolina.
Carolina. Look, I'm Italian. I'm announcing it correctly. What does that tell you? And I can't even announce half the Japanese names correctly, and yet people still think it's like, oh, I understand what you mean.
Because most people whitewash it and call her Carolina Cruz.
Again, folks, Carolina. If you roll your R's, by the way, Carolina Cruz. All right. Well, that being said, again, MLW, I hope all the best in this new season debut. And as we take one last commercial break before we bid you all a fine adieu, I mean, again, I'm definitely going to look at Austin Aries versus Trevor Lee. I am curious to see what Shogun Nakajima and Shotzi's segment is. And then I'm going to go spell some 5-letter words because you all got me figured about it. So when we conclude the Saturday Shenanigans of this commercial break, we're going to build some shills. We're going to plug the house show from Italy, and then we're going to get some sleep. So as the Shenanigans about to conclude, folks, we'll see on their side of this commercial break without lingo, but with some promoting and some other scheduling updates too. So stay tuned.
And now for a taste of things to come.
I wasn't paying attention to that at all. I had lingo on my mind. I just found the jingle. Anyway, as always, here the Above Studios, really encompass, embrace, celebrate, engage, pontificate, analyze, criticize, and react to all the wrestling. And welcome back here to the We Tired of Foot Saturday Shenanigans edition here with lingo in the background on our minds. Now I am the Seminole Flaws. I've been your moderator for this evening. And as always, been here with JJ and Walter and the Canadian Connection. One from Winnipeg, the other one from another place. Let's go ahead and get the heck out of here and bid you all a fine farewell. And thank you all for tuning in once again. Let's get the fuck out of here as he's already lying down probably and figured about what he's having for breakfast. Nick, plug your shit and tell where the people can find you and also your Mrs. content.
Find me at my app that's on the screen right now. And then find my Facebook page. Honey, what's your book page?
Feeling.booked. How do you not know this? That's your woman's page.
I know, but I don't know it, and she's smart. So, feeling.booked. If you want to hear about smutty, spicy books, go follow that page.
There's a reason why the brains are more often than not, and I'll admit this as a man, on the female side of the spectrum of neurology. Just saying. Thank you, Nick. Goodbye and good night, bang. All right. Ash, always appreciate you, pal. Again, congratulations on the promotion. Again, prioritize my passions. Don't burn yourself out on wrestling when you have so much more professionally developing. So go ahead and tell where the people can engage with you as they are able to.
After my much needed long break, you can now once again find me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter at ShadowBadAsh, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Batty for Wrestling. Don't be a dickhead.
Dickhead. All right. Simple enough. Yeah, again, she always brings a baddie bracket breakdown or a baddie rant or a baddie analysis to any conversation.
I finally watched 4 matches from the Best of the Super Juniors.
4 matches down. Insert number to go.
I know, right? Hey, last night I was watching Robbie Eagles versus Kushida, and I'm like, oh my god, if this is not the most shadow bat coded match on this show so far, then hell yeah, because y'all need to put some respect on Robbie Eagles' name, man. Y'all ain't talking about him enough.
In all fairness, I don't watch New Japan stuff.
Hi.
Oh, here's what you can do.
I'm not super familiar with him.
Okay.
I
Here's
know
how you can
me
get
some Kushida shit though.
Here's how you can get familiar with Robbie Eagles. Search on YouTube Pro Wrestling Australia and watch his Heart of all his title matches there. I think it's called the Heart of PWA title. Search
That's
that
correct.
up. Or if you want, I can just send you a playlist of his matches.
All right. There you go. Thank you for that, Ash. Okay. Walter, again, man, always appreciate you. Tell where the people can find and engage with you.
First of all, the irony of Ash giving out homework. But anyways,
everybody's got homework.
She still hasn't watched a Bret Hart match.
Right?
She's been hanging around with us for probably close to 2 years. Still hasn't watched a Bret Hart match, and she's trying to give us homework.
The irony, the definition of irony.
Yeah, I'm an Australian boy nonetheless, not a Canadian boy, an Aussie man.
She has a thing for accents, people.
This is fair. IRONY.
It was so funny because I was at the Monday Night Raw show, and there it was that episode where freaking Ludwig, who was like trying to rizz up on who the fuck was it? What's her name? Maxine. And I said to my friend, he's like, but that shit worked on you, and I was like, yes, it would have. Totally would have.
Well, there you go, folks. The more that you freaking know. All right. Let's go ahead and continue through here. Walter, go ahead and plug in your channel.
You can find me at Rage of Wrestling on YouTube, Instagram, Walter.Cruz.940, which is now a verified Instagram, so go over there, because I'm going to start putting more of the highlights and stuff over there, too. And then at Twitter at Walter Alex Cruz.
All right, and again, folks, subscribe to Dave Rage of Wrestling. He has a milestone goal in mind, as always, and he is definitely a reliable source for fun content. And eventually, we will plug in the arcade cabinet and engage in gaming. And it might be more than just lingo. So stay tuned. All right, thank you, Walter. JJ, I know you're already working on some stuff in the background, so let's go ahead and bring up the Super Studios schedule from the Renegade's mind. Whether or not it involves hot dog or a handshake, and always appreciate you too, despite your gravity pissed me off. Go ahead so that people can find you.
I don't know what you're talking about. My graphic pissing you off. Like, I don't get it. And working on things in the background, how dare you? You offend me so, Noah.
Sure I do, JJ. Sure I do.
But you can find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams. You can find me on YouTube at Casa D18 Studios. You can find me on X at Casa D18 Studio. No S at the end on the X account. All those great places you can find me. Of course, make sure you're following SR Studios 2024 on X, on the Tweeter.
The Tweeter.
That's where all of our huge announcements come. You know, that's where I announce who we're going to have as special guest interviews. That's where I post our Spotify's and everything. We're broadcasting there right now with Shenanigans. Occasionally we do watch-alongs on there. The interviews go there. Because it's a verified X account and, you know, I pay monthly for the little check mark. You know. Honestly, if I'm keeping it 100, I think that's part of how we've gotten all these interviews is because we're a verified page.
Oh, yeah, that definitely shows where you stand.
Which, well, but like I've mentioned to you at a couple times, your page is a personal page that's verified. The Simply Reliable Studios is a branded page.
Difference.
So even though you're verified, you're just like a person sliding into DMs, whereas this is a brand sliding into DMs.
That's a whole different form of profiling.
And I think that's why I've had more success. But be that as it may, I think that's how we've been able to secure so many of these interviews, is being a verified account. So you want to know if paying for that check mark works? If you want to do this kind of stuff like we have been, it's worth it. For people like Noah, who don't really care about the interviews, who that's not his bag, it's not worth it. For people like Walter and I, who this is something that we want to do, and we look at it as imperative to the brand, it's been entirely worth it. Again, still waiting for official confirmation about Brittany Brooks. That's why I didn't load her graphic in yet. Be on the lookout for that, because once I get a definitive yes or no, it will be on that SRSX account announcing it. It is supposed to be, everyone make air quotes with me, supposed to be Tuesday night, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific. Time subject to change, date subject to change. If she gets this big opportunity she messaged me about, she didn't go in depth as what it was, but if she gets this opportunity, we can't begrudge her
Heck no.
taking this opportunity, because I'm sure whatever it is going to pay her more than what she was going to get from us. So go get your bag, girl.
Do the work, keep on the grind, get your name out there, build your success continually, pursue any opportunity that comes forward to you, because you may not get it again.
100%. Big Body Javi, now the Core Kid Javi, will be coming to the channel at some point. Again, working on the back and forth, trying to set up the date and time with him. As soon as that is confirmed and ironed out, announcement will be made. Where will it be made, Noah?
It'll be made, of course, right here at SR Studios 2024 on the X. Follow it today on the X. The bird is dead on the X.
But the bird is the word.
That song still sucks. All right.
We'll let Ash know if that orange shirt comes to fruition and we get the VHC champion confirmed. Maybe we'll let her announce it on her X page, and then we can just retweet it from there, knowing how much she loves TMDK. Maybe we'll let her be the one to break that if it comes through. But
the definition of our young punk.
Yes, the reason why I want to watch Pro Wrestling Noah, because not just the good matches, but no, it's for tall, hunky Australian reasons.
There's the interest. There's the reason right there. It's not Ozawa versus Naito. It's not Murafuji. It's not Manabu Soya. It's not freaking. I got you. I'm not. It's not Amakusa. I got you. I know you. I understand you. I respect you.
I am a very simple person.
And then, of course, be on the lookout tomorrow for our coverage of Clash in Italy, as we provide alternative coverage. And God damn you, Noah.
Who pressed that?
Oh, that's what
Noah.
Walter! I know it was you!
I thought it was
you, Noah. It wasn't you! You did that! You son of a gun trying to blame me when I don't even push that sort of shenanigans on here. I know it was you! You are always against me! Now you will stop that!
I thought there was Enzo and Cass's music playing for a second, and I was like, oh wait, never mind.
That'll be the day.
Hey, you never know, it might show up.
Cameos, freaking Italy for WWE. All right, we'll see. You got a better chance of Guido showing up. All right, well, thank you, JJ. And again, folks, thank you all for tuning in. As JJ talked about, our next official activity will be covering that international house show for WWE, Clash in Italy. I have no idea who's on the call, so you're just going to find out when we go live. Stay tuned for more on that. But if you want to find out more about me or further engage me or try to, good luck. I'm not social. But try if you choose. And then Foster in 1916 on the X and on YouTube for all things wrestling. For I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Again, we're covering Clash in Italy, and then this coming Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned with me and Papagino. Break it down. We're Predictions League breakdown, of course, as we give you the highs, the lows, the me's, and betweens of all the scores, of course, all the predictings. In and out of Team No DQ. Good luck to all of you. Also in the Galaxy. Good luck, Ash. If you filled out the form already, if you haven't. Everyone, you still have, of course, till when they're doing their nonsense, overloaded, overrated kickoff.
On Eastern?
Well, it
It's 2
starts
p.m.
at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, so you said 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific.
Well, considering WWE fucked us at the Royal Rumble, lest we forget, at the start of their kickoff, I'm going to make sure I get this right, because I'm pretty sure their dumbasses did a 2-hour kickoff versus a 1-hour one. So if it's 2 hours, then you have officially, you know what, I'm not even going to chance it when they're starting the kickoff shit. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. They're doing a 2-hour kickoff. Fuck that. But you got till officially now noon Eastern Standard Time to make your predictions final, because Lord knows if anything happens, they'll announce it during the kickoff show because we're stupid, or they're going to literally do something that is, in Randy Orton's phrase, stupid, stupid, stupid. More times than I can count, that's literally been the case. Anyway, that's a different conversation. And then stay tuned Wednesday when we continue our coverage of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament with AEW Dynamite. And as I said, the next Super Dit will, of course, be AEW Forbidden Door with NXT ever does anything again. And it is what it is, bro. And TNA Summerversary and the WWE ESPN special next month. I think it's Night of Champions, whatever the fuck that is. Other than that, yep, thank you. I wasn't sure. But again, WWE. But again, folks, stay tuned as always here on what we do, whether it's interviews, shenanigans, conversations, reactions, watch-alongs, and further wrestling coverage. JJ, I see you got your hand. What do you got to say real quick?
That's going to be a hell of a week for you, because Night of Champions is Saturday, Forbidden Door and Slammiversary are on Sunday, the 27th and 28th.
Oh,
all 3 shows are the same weekend.
Ah, fuck, a triple decker. Damn it!
Well, Forbidden Door is going to be early in the afternoon because it's in the UK. So Slammiversary will be at a normal time, probably 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So there shouldn't be any overlap there between Forbidden Door and Slammiversary, but that's literally 3 Simply Predictings over 3 days. Over 2 days. So,
oh, boy. Well, thank you for that, JJ.
Throwing it at the wall here now. See if it sticks. Card subject to change, of course. Simply Predicting Forbidden Door, Wednesday after Dynamite that week. Simply Predicting for Slammiversary, following Impact that week. Simply Predicting for Night of Champions, following SmackDown that week.
I'll think about it. That being said, also not UK, California. Botch. But I do understand what you mean. All right. Thank you for that, JJ.
Yeah, they're like an hour
That's
away
right.
from 2 hours.
So they will be clashing then, damn.
New news, counter programming.
Oh, what a trope in the wrestling business that's been around since
he
before
was
AEW
thinking of All In, that's why.
Yeah, I know. Since before AEW existed. Oh, no. Anyway.
It's so funny. People complain about like, oh my god, we're just like, I can't believe they're doing it on the same day. Bitch, don't act like you were going to watch either show. Like, let's be real. Like, if you're an
fine that week, unless somebody who's watching.
I'm glad someone said besides me when it comes to the fact that both are $40. Go ahead.
Time out. Ash, say it one more time with your full chest, please.
I mean, like, let's be real here. If like those complaining about like the counter programming, like y'all weren't even going to watch the show to begin with. Like, let's be real here. If you were an AEW fan, you were going to watch the AEW show. If you were a TNA fan, you were going to watch the TNA show. Unless you like both, you guess what? Y'all going to find a way to watch both. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, fuckers.
I mean,
thank you very much for that, Ash, on this edition of TED Talk. Stay tuned next week, folks, when we talk about WWE versus AEW versus TNA. Is there really a war, or is it just your foolish pride at the end of the day? All right here at the Simply Reliable Studios. And yes, I already know the answer, Ash. You don't have to tell me. Thank you.
People probably ain't gonna watch it anyways. Like the TNA fans are gonna watch Slammiversary. The AEW fans are gonna watch Forbidden Door. The few, the proud, the true wrestling fans will watch whichever one they don't watch live via tape delay afterwards. Shut the fuck up.
Look, we're literally throwing spaghetti against the wall here, expecting a different result against the wall. All right, I'm just gonna say, all right. And in conclusion, I'm just gonna leave you all with this. Well, about to say, I'm just gonna leave y'all with this. At the end of the day, know your place. Know your outlook is not one else's outlook. Can we not just find a way to respect one another when it comes to what you put your money in and what you freaking watch? Counter-programming is counter-programming. It's a trope of business. It's like a fucking Checkers being on the corner across from a fucking Wendy's, and at the end of the day, you still go to both because you care about the damn burgers or the damn fries or the damn milkshake versus chocolate frosty. There's not one better versus the other. Officially, it's all subjective. It's all constructive. Or it should be constructive unless it's literally being dissected as troublous because you all have a short brain mentality because you can't accept the fact that someone thinks differently than you or spends their money differently because they're on a fucking budget.
And that's why all those restaurants are right next to each other. I used to make my father get the Whopper for Burger King, the fries from McDonald's, and
Here's
the
a critical
Wendy's. Okay.
Here's a critical note to close that out. Burger King sucks. Whoppers aren't that great. My family got sick from them, and I will hold that against them to their grave. Burger King sucks. That being said, what doesn't suck is what, of course, we just did here. As once again we engage with each other in a professional wrestling conversation. Again, figured everybody that tuned in. I want to give a shout out with click to our other fellow queen here at Timo Studios, Datilla Dash. Stay tuned, of course, as Datilla starts a new venture with Pop Culture Powerbomb. Follow today on the X, the Bird Dead. And again, follow her when it's wrestling time, if you can, at Rangers of Wrestling, of course. There you see, of course, her plugs right there on the YouTube and on the X as always. They weren't here on screen, but they were part of City Predicting. Regardless of redundancy, sometimes you might as well just be spinning in a circle at the same word, or you literally have interactive games and movies being plugged inside the chat. Follow the MVPs, the VIPs, at the expense of my dignity the most. Arlene Emmanuel Dominguez on the social medias, as you see right there. And again, thank you for everybody that tuned in. But as always, I conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans of opinions of this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just real life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as video goes live on demand and at the YouTube channels here on the Super Live Studios family. Subscribe to all of them today, especially these three. Subscribe. Hit the bell to know.
Damn it, stay the fucking ball.
Well, that happens. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell to know when the next video goes live on demand and the YouTube channels. I show you the content, the creativity, the passion, the rants, the TED Talks, where you never know who will take the microphone, are not going to let up anytime soon. I assure you. What is going to let up now, though, is my voice and my freaking migraine as I'm ready to go snooze. And I'm sure the rest of us are too. So for Nick, this is for Walter, who's raging at a video game. For Ash, bringing her batty takes, as we would not expect anything else. For JJ, who always brings the long-term storytelling and the better booking than most of the creative in a suit on any of the top 3 scenes. For all of you in the chat, including Safet, Emmanuel, Independent Games and Movies, Lily, and of course, Max. And for those that don't chat, but necessarily still continue to follow with us and engage with us, as you all continue to make it possible. To the invisible John Cena community, to all of you that are seen as clear as day and living color, I thank you. So until next time we are on your screen, whether it's Clash in Italy or something else outside the WWE, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night, and thank you for tuning in to another rousing edition of the Saturday Shenanigans. Have a good night.
Stay in the fucking Pokeball.